And this evening we're staying in Sicily because we've got so much to talk about. We'd like to welcome our resident chef, Michele. Buonasera to you.
Buonasera.
And this is going to be an exciting segment, which is my favourite, talking desserts, dolci di Sicilia.
Yeah. We're going to do a cassata, and the original cassata, and we're going to do some cannoli as well.
Now, cassata is an interesting thing. Cassata actually comes from the Arabic word quasat, I think that they say, which refers to the conical container that cassata is normally housed in, yes?
Yeah.
So, obviously, you know, we go back to the story about how the Greeks sort of founded Sicilian cuisine. However, it was the Saracens that really brought the desserts to the forefront. The Saracens introduced the fruits, the pistachios, the honeys, the blossom water, all the wonderful things that we're going to really be talking about this evening.
Yeah.
Now, Michele, you've got something right there in front of you that I think we should have a nice discussion about tonight. Candied fruit.
Frutta candita.
Frutta candita. Now, what have we got there this evening? These little...
Clementine.
Clementines. Now, they're related to the mandarins, but they're not as flavoursome and obviously a lot smaller. But great for making candied peel, of course. And Michele, what's this that we have here? This is
cedro.
Cedro, which is citron in English. That's an interesting fruit. It's not really made for eating, is it, Michele? It's got a very thick skin. It's got the colour of, yellow lemons, but it's got more the shape of quinces, melicotonie. So that's an interesting fruit. Fantastic for candied peel.
Yeah, it's really good. And then we got some oranges. Some normal oranges.
Yeah, they are obviously, I'm just sort of thinking because they're not sanguinelli, the blood oranges that you often find in Sicily because they'd be much redder, but these are more like Seville, they're the bitter oranges. Yeah. Aren't they?
And then we got some, just a fig here.
The figs.
And some cherries, some ciliegie.
Ciliegie. Michele, what's that over there?
This one is very interesting. This one is a kind of pumpkin, similar to a pumpkin, and is actually candied.
Isn't that amazing? I've never seen that before.
Yeah, it's
Has it got
really
a fairly strong flavour?
Not really.
No.
At all. It's really plain flavour.
Yeah.
And it's really good because in Sicily they also use other kind of pumpkin to do different biscuit. They get put under salt and then under sugar. So it's really interesting.
Isn't that amazing? Wow, okay. Now, frutta candita, the process that they do at Michele is that they actually get the skins of the fruit and they just sort of immerse it or pour over like a sort of a sugar syrup or flavoured sugar syrup. And then as the water mixes into the sugar of the fruit, it becomes edible. Is that how it kind of works?
Yeah, that's how it works, yeah. Okay. And it takes a while to do it, so it's not that easy. And
very synonymous with Sicilian food, I think.
Yeah, they also like to do it with marzipan. They also like little fruit. That's why if you go to Sicily, you always saw little fruit. It's an art of, they've got little shapes to do it.
It was really quite famous, made by the nuns actually, always during Holy Week, but now I think it's made all over Italy sort of year round. I think it's actually called pasta reale, meaning royal paste in Italian. Is that right? Something like that.
Yeah, it's based on almond. Yeah, almond and sugar. We're going to do the cannoli, first of all. The filling of the cannoli is similar. It's all based on ricotta. Ricotta is...
cannoli, by the way, means a little round cylinder.
Yeah, it's actually a shell. I'm sure everyone saw it in all the Italian shops. Now, we've got some different shape ones. You'll find, I'm going to do in a second, you'll find it much easier to actually buy the shells in some shops. It's probably much easier. And there's only one problem with cannoli. As soon as you put the ricotta inside, after 4 hours, they start to get a little bit soggy. Okay, so that's why a lot of people, what they do in some pastry shops, they put some chocolate inside, or they just use custard.
So that the ricotta doesn't blend into the pastry. It's a very brittle sort of pastry, isn't it? It's got lots of holes.
The good thing usually is actually not to fill it up. Just put icing sugar on top, and when you're ready to go, you just fill it up with the ricotta. Now, this one is actually that's how you're supposed to do the shells. Okay, you need some bamboo here.
Yeah, that's the traditional way of doing it, because now they cheat and sort of use tin, don't they?
Yeah, you know the difference.
Tell me.
The difference is when you go and buy cannolo, you should you should see the base here. Okay, usually if this has got all little squares, that means they use stainless steel, but there's nothing wrong with that. The only way, this one is the best one, because once you cook it, they don't actually fall, on the bottom of this, so they stay up and they turn around. Okay. It's really interesting. To do the cannoli shell, it's there's a few different recipes. There's the ingredients. What you should have is, of course, flour. There's some cocoa, some sugar, egg white, and also there's another ingredient that a lot of pastry chefs don't like to say, but it's actually a little bit of vinegar. A little bit of vinegar makes sure that the pastry stay crispy and doesn't go soggy.
Is that so?
Yes.
Okay.
We should probably start doing the filling of the cannoli.
Now, Michele, ricotta is such an important part of Sicilian cooking, and I suppose we should tell our viewers exactly what ricotta is. Now, it's basically the whey that separates from the curd once it's heated, and in fact the word ricotta means recooked, so they get the first lot of whey, they strain it, and then they recook it. So that's a little bit of perhaps useful information.
And usually, if you're lucky enough to actually have someone next to you that knows how to do ricotta, is once it's still warm, all you need is just a little bit of sugar and you got a dessert of its own. Just like that, really creamy and juicy. It's just really good. And
we should tell our viewers also, although this is ricotta made from cow's milk, isn't it, Michele, which is what we have here in Australia. I don't know whether you can find it made from sheep's milk.
Yeah, you can. It's really hard, but you can find it.
But the Sicilians in particular love ricotta made from ewe's milk because they say it's got a much fuller flavour but a lighter texture in terms of creaminess. So,
and also if you go for sheep ricotta, it's a completely different flavour. It's something that if you're not used to, you probably won't really like it.
No, fair enough.
Okay, now I'm going to get Caterina to pass me the ricotta with the strainer there.
Welcome to you, Caterina. I know you're working very hard there behind the scenes. Fantastic.
Okay. Now, first of all, I'm going to show you very quickly. First of all, the ricotta should be strained overnight, okay, in a little cloth, so it gets always in the fridge, okay? Don't leave anything out, so it doesn't get too much water, because once at the time that you add your sugar, it's going to have a lot of water coming out, okay? And the other thing that you have to do, I mean, usually you can use any kind of sifter, okay? Just the secret of the cassata is actually you put it through this, okay? You see, and you cream it like that. You have to put it through a couple of times.
It's very fine. It's coming through quite fine.
Okay, that's a basic. And a lot of people try to do it into the machine, which just have processor, but it won't be the same. Yeah. And you can see it's already fluffy, really, really fluffy.
And all the moisture or liquids out of it, isn't it, Michele?
Yeah. And so the good thing, once you put it through twice, and then you go into it, the recipe is. The original recipe, once upon a time...
We want the recipe correctly, Michele.
No, once upon a time is going to be 1 part of ricotta and half of sugar. Now, I'll find that is going to be very sweet for your taste, because once upon a time they didn't have no fridge, and sugar used to actually preserve ricotta.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that. Oh.
Nowadays, we don't like to have so much sugar, and also we don't need... we got fridge as well.
Absolutely.
So all you need is actually 1/3 of the weight of the ricotta of sugar. So you go, let's say 1 kilo of ricotta, you need around 330 grams of sugar. Okay.
Just normal granulated sugar, or does it have to be a caster sugar?
Caster sugar will be better.
It's finer.
And if you want, you can also use icing sugar if you want, even more refined. Okay. The good thing is make sure you do this mix and you let it rest a little bit in the fridge, a few hours, so you won't be able to taste the granules
of the sugar.
Of the sugar. So this is the mix that you're having.
Do we add any eggs to this, Michele?
No eggs in this one, and it's amazing that you actually have to do it and taste it to understand what we're talking about. And now, basically, what it is, once you add a little bit of cinnamon through...
Oh, that's a legacy of the Arabs, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, you put a little bit of cinnamon.
So just like a half a teaspoon, a little pinch?
For 1 kilo, you probably need half a teaspoon. Okay. And what you need is a little bit of rum or something, a nice liquor that you really like with a beautiful aroma. Okay.
Obviously, a white rum is preferable to a dark rum.
Yeah, because we're doing some dessert here with the ricotta, of course.
Okay.
Now, You can add vanilla if you want, or maybe the sugar, vanilla sugar, or whatever you want.
It
but
smells quite amazing.
you can already smell it.
Absolutely.
Now, basically, what you have to do now is this. You just grab your shells, the small ones or the big ones, it's really up to you, okay? And then you just go through and you fill it up.
Now, Michele, we're making it fairly simplistic for our viewers here, but of course you can add ingredients to the sweetened ricotta, like pieces of chocolate, pistachio.
Yeah, pistachio goes really well with that.
Okay, okay.
And basically, once you put it here, you have to, like I said, you have to do this. You can't really do this in advance for too long because otherwise the shell will go really, really soft. And you just have to finish it with the icing sugar.
Okay.
Usually, if you got the really big ones like this one, you can actually garnish with half a cherry there.
Oh yes,
okay.
Of course. Yes, yes, yes,
or
yes.
you can maybe put some
candied peel through it.
Yeah, or cut a little bit of the clementine and just put it there as a garnish.
Okay.
Or even the green cherries, and this one is ready to eat straight away. Usually in Italy, in Sicily especially, to the really good pastry shops, what they're actually doing, they've got the cannoli shell there with icing sugar, and they've got the filling underneath, so they do it on the spot.
Do it on the spot. Oh, wow. Fantastic.